So today's episode is a follow-on from last week's Kirk podcast episode. It's basically part 2 of how to stay on track this summer with your health and your body goals. I wanted to split it in 2 so it wasn't too long an episode. And also, I shared last week a weekly framework. Today is going to be a daily framework. And having coached so many people, I realized that people plan, learn, evaluate in different ways. Some people are more sort of weekly planners. Some people are more day to day. It just helps them stay more accountable if they've evaluated certain things day to day than weekly. Okay, so hopefully across these 2 episodes, you'll have plenty of tools in your armor on how to stay on track for the summer. And to be honest, even though I've put the title of the episode, How to Stay on Track this Summer, the things I'm going to share today around a daily framework of how to manage yourself, your training, your movement, your food, etc. better. These questions will actually work at any point of the year. And as I shared last week, why questions are so important if you want to get a grip on your health and fitness goals and look, feel, and perform better in everything you do, you need to ask yourself the right questions. So great coaching for me is sharing great questions with clients and making them feel like they've made the decision to action something. It has to come from within. So as you are listening to this podcast right now, the reason I'm sharing these questions rather than just telling you, of course I will do that from time to time, telling you what I know works. Questions will make you feel like you've made the decision, because that is way more powerful if you're trying to get a grip on your habits long term and just getting told what to do, right? Unless you literally just want to get spoon fed for the rest of your life on what to do, okay, which is fine too. But I wanted to share the first 2 questions that I shared in last week's episode, because the daily framework will make more sense if you ask yourself these questions first. All right. So as I shared last week, before you evaluate a daily framework of questions that's going to help you stay on track, you need to get clear, which is the first question. What was your summer health and body goal? So when you started the summer or went into the summer, what was your health and body goal? Was it to stay in shape? Was it to be stronger, faster, fitter? Whatever it was, just get clear. What was that goal? And if you didn't have one, what is your summer health and body goal now? Like, whenever you listen to this, and it may be at the end of July, what is your primary goal around your health and your body that you want to feel or achieve at the end of summer? So start of September, what is the goal? And does it still matter? Second question, how do you want to look and feel? And that might be the goal, like to look a certain way, feel a certain way. But like, more importantly, as I shared last week, how do you want to feel? Get emotionally connected to that outcome, right? How do you want to emotionally feel at the end of the summer? Do you want to feel confident? Do you want to feel empowered? Do you want to feel amazing, incredible? Use a word, or more importantly, an emotion that excites you and has meaning behind it. Now let's get to the daily framework. There's going to be 8 questions. 8 questions. And you need to be really brutally honest with yourself when you ask yourself these questions. If you tell yourself lies, you will not get the value from the question, and you won't implement the action needed from the question. First question is, and I encourage you to look at this first thing, AM. Right, with your coffee, out on your walk, whatever it is you do. First thing in the morning, ask yourself this question, Would actioning yesterday's standards and choices help you hit or miss this week's expectations if you repeated them today? So simply put, maybe do this right now. If you look back to yesterday and looked at your standards and your choices around movement, food, training, maybe even mindset, if you repeated them today, is that likely to help you hit your expectations of how you want to look and how you want to feel in a week's time, or miss them? For me, it's a clever question to make sure that you don't miss twice. I've got a rule, and this is what's helped keep me in shape for all these years. If I was to have a genuinely shit day of eating, which rarely happens, of going completely off it, okay? Or I had a day where I planned to train and didn't, or I had a shit training session or a shit night's sleep, I put that right the next day. Because then over the year, if you have that ethos, you're rarely going to be off it with that mindset. Right? So that question is, would actioning yesterday's standards and choices help you hit or miss this week's expectations if you repeated them today? If the answer's miss, if the answer is miss, so whatever you did yesterday, and you're saying if you did that again, you'd miss your target, by asking yourself that question first thing in the morning, you have an opportunity to take responsibility and make that right, to put that right. Second question, again, it's more a logical question around calendar and planning. Is your calendar setting you up to win or fail today with this week's health expectations? The amount of business owners, entrepreneurs, when they look at the calendar first thing in the morning, very few of our entrepreneurs, when we've called them out on the calendar, do not have all their shit dialed down that day of what they're going to do to succeed in business, how they're going to show up to their meetings, the times of their meetings, the times of their sales calls, whatever it is. But the amount of times we've called people out who've been struggling with consistency with their health and fitness, it's down to their calendar, their planning. They simply do not have scheduled when they're going to train, when they're going to move, what they're going to eat. So they have reactive behavior patterns that follow. You rely on hope rather than certainty in terms of moving forward towards your goals. So when you look at your calendar first thing in the morning, is that setting you up to win or fail today with your health expectations? If it's going to set you up to fail, what are you going to do about it? Third question, what is the specific outcome with your training you want to achieve today? And how will you make it happen? So by asking yourself those questions, this question around training, it's clear. It gives you a clear chance to go, right, what is my core outcome of this training session today? So you're going to do it with more intent and more focus. So I'll repeat that question. What is the specific outcome with your training you want to achieve today? And how will you make it happen? So I'll give you an example. This morning, I did some heavy work. As much as I wanted to lift a lot of weight across the compound exercises, in my head today, I wanted to move a sled push for 200. I wanted to move a sled push 250 kilograms minimum for a couple of 6-meter sled sprints. So as much as I wanted to obviously perform across the whole session, I had one clear big target in my mind that I just wanted to do because I've not done it in a little while. I mean, the bonus is today that I actually moved the sled, 300 kilogram sled, which is exceeded my expectations. So you're even happy when that happens. But I still had a clear minimum non-negotiable target with my training that it was specific, it was measurable, and it's yes or no. And I think the reason why a lot of people struggle with their training or drift off into no man's land or don't progress, they do not have a clear, specific training outcome when they go into that session. I cannot tell you the difference that would make to your mental focus and how good you'd feel after a workout if you have a clear expectation and a target of what is a key outcome that I can measure, that I can attack today. Fourth question. And remember, you're looking at this first thing in the morning. What time of the day and where will your willpower be tested most let me say that again. What time of the day and where will your willpower be tested most with poor quality and high calorie foods. What will you do about it? So what that basically means is, by asking that question, you are granularly trying to look at your day and highlight maybe the environment, the place, or being around certain people at a certain time of the day. You're highlighting this as a potential risk or something where your cravings or willpower get tested, especially around food. Okay, so you might look at your calendar first thing in the morning, and you've got a social occasion or a business meeting with potential clients or friends where your willpower is going to get tested when that menu comes out. Peer pressure. The amount of people who fold when it comes to peer pressure is staggering. Oh, just have one more, just have two more, just have three more when it comes to drinks. Or, oh, that dessert won't kill you. Oh, just eat a bit more. You're boring. If you can anticipate that situation before it happens, then be strong enough mentally or pre-prepare a certain response when someone's going to say these type of things at you. You are far more likely to make the decisions you want to around food rather than surrender to the food decisions other people want to make for you. And what that question does is trying to give you the control and not other people. Because we've had multiple conversations with clients where, I don't know, they might have been struggling with progress for a certain period. Then we've granularly broken it down, and so often it's the lack of control in certain environments at certain times of the day around certain people that has negatively impacted the food choices they've had and how much they've eaten. But if you can anticipate this and forward plan a better decision or a better response, I promise you, you'll feel so much better afterwards. Fifth question. When, where, and how will you easily hit your step target today? If you're trying to stay on track with a certain body weight and a certain physical shape that keeps you happy, your movement or how much you move is going to massively impact that. So if at the start of a day, you can look at your calendar and very logically break down, this is when I'm going to move. This is when I'm going to maybe get 1,000 steps in. This is when I'm going to get 5,000 steps in. Or if you've got a hectic day of meetings, can you simply look at every hour within your day and schedule a 5 to 10 minute breather where you're getting some water, you get some fresh air, you go into the bathroom, but you're moving. All these mini wins, as I've said many times before, they stack up. And it doesn't really matter how you get to your step target at the end of the day. Okay, it's just getting it done. And that's going to look different for you on different days and in different situations, because you're going to have a different scenario every day, or your structure of your day might be different. Certainly is for the clients we coach. The sixth question. The reason why this is so important to ask yourself in the morning, okay, is again, it's just going to make sure that you actually do it. Have you completed your one key morning health habit yet? If not, what's more important and when will you do it? So I spoke about in last week's episode the importance of having one key health habit that when you know you do that, you have a better day, you eat better, you feel better, you perform better the rest of the day. So by asking yourself that question of, have I done that health habit that I said I was going to do, that I know contributes towards me having a better day, performing better, eating better? Okay. If you haven't done it yet, it's going to gradually expose what's more important, or more importantly, what you've prioritized instead. So if you haven't done it at the point of that question, whether it's movement, whether it's training session, whether it's breathing, whether it's eating something healthy for breakfast, whatever your thing is as that number one health habit first thing in the morning, if you haven't done it, and you're then asking yourself, if not, what's more important? And if there was something genuinely more important, it might have been you had to do something for your kids, or you had to take an urgent call at work, that's okay. But the next question is, when will you do it? And again, it's going to bring to the fore and create urgency so you actually follow through and do it. Okay? 7th question. What 3 wins would represent today being a great day and make you happy? All of us feel good when we accomplish things, whether it's personal, professional, like physical. Get clear at the start of the day. What 3 wins would represent today being a great day and make you happy? Right? I'm yet to coach anyone who doesn't want to feel happy at the end of a day. Do we feel happy at the end of a day every day? Do we fuck? I'm stressed. I have bad days, shitty days, and I think, oh God, that didn't go to plan. But if you can just get clear at the start of the day, what is my intention? What are the 3 wins that are really going to make me happy? It's just going to really realign yourself on what you're striving for. Okay? I encourage you with your 3 wins, try not to make them all professional. Can we make 1 to do with work, 1 to do with health, and 1 to do with family and personal? So some of family and personal might be, what's going to make me happy is spending 30 minutes with my child at the end of the day, laughing, not thinking about work, or having a great conversation with the missus, whatever it is. Okay? Last question is this. Do you have everything you need to meet your expectation? Do you have everything you need to meet your expectation? If the answer is no, who do you need to ask for help, or what do you need to search for? What's missing? Okay? And if you've been an avid listener of this podcast, 1, I appreciate all the support, but 2, I have bucket loads of resources. 1 being the PDF from this question framework that I can share with you. Okay? So if you do not have everything you need, what do you need to do? Who do you need to ask for help? Because I think so many people bury their head in the sands, and it's why they don't meet their expectation and goals, because they're scared to ask for help, or they don't know where to search. And anything to do with health and fitness and staying on track in the summer, that is certainly what myself, my team can help you with. And we have bucket loads of free resources. And of course, if you ever wanted to work with us, you know where we are. So I just want to leave this episode by saying, if you are on holiday right now, have an amazing time. Enjoy yourself without contradicting how you want to feel. As I said to one of my clients the other day, those beers, those cocktails, those wines, that rich food, those nice desserts, they all taste better when you pay your dues first. And I promise you, the people around you, your partners, your children, your friends, they'll reap the benefits of that positive energy that you demonstrate. So thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.